All right, guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Left Side View with Rahul and Amitabh. So this is the review episode of the midweek matches. We've had so many matches, some matches in the league, some matches in the Champions League, Europa League. So where do we begin, Amitabh?
So Rahul, we begin in the Ajax Amsterdam Arena, the second leg of Ajax versus Benfica. Uh, Ajax absolutely dominated this match. The only thing they did not do was score. And Benfica had one shot on goal, I guess, and they scored from that. Nunez being the goal scorer, 77th minute. And in most respects, I think the shot of this round, Benfica go through and Ajax are dumped out. Rahul.
Oh, well, yes, this isn't actually came as a surprise. To be honest, everyone predicted Ajax to go through. Uh, so yes, I think the fact that Benfica are out of the race for the title in the domestic league, I think yeah, they put all their eggs in this basket for the Champions League, and yeah, they gave it their all. I think. I mean, Darwin Nunez, so so many clubs are already after him. I think even Brighton wanted to sign him, but then they were priced out of the deal. Even West Ham, I think, put in a 48 million euros bid, but then that was rejected by Benfica. But then I don't really think that after this winner, uh, Benfica will be able to hold on to him for much longer. But yes, I think a great victory. Mm, Again, some question marks about Ajax or maybe Ten Hag's uh, philosophy. I think, especially when it comes to the Champions League. I mean, is he really like as good as people make him out to be, or maybe because uh, they get such an easy, run in their domestic leagues that people think that Ajax are so good or Ten Hag is so good. Some question marks, but yeah, let's see. But a great match, I think, for the neutrals. Yes, and a great surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most surprising fact was Ajax unable to get on the score sheet. Because they've been scoring so prolifically in this competition, and yeah, just one of those nights maybe. The second match was Manchester United against Atletico Madrid, and I guess our prediction here was bang on. In the first half, United did show some life, but see, in all fairness, Atletico, nullified them and they got their counter attack going. They scored in the 41st minute. Their signing Lodi in January has been instrumental in this upsurge of form. And from there on, they just shut the life out of the game. I don't think the ball was played even for 20-25 minutes in the second half. Um, they were, doing everything possible to stop the play and get breaks in between, feigning injuries, stoppages, taking times in throw-ins, and everything that Atletico are so good at. And yeah, it's just that Manu never had a chance in this match, especially in the second half. Again, the experience showed, the Champions League experience showed, and even away from home, Atletico Madrid got through. Yeah.
Oh yes. I think again, Lodi, who has been maybe it's like we talked about earlier. It's just a tactical switch, from Simeone, wherein he was playing as a left back earlier, but now he's playing as a left wing back, and that has just given him a new lease of life to bomb forward. And yeah, he was so good in the first leg as well, but he did even better in this one because he was the one who provided, he was the one who scored the winner, whereas United just looked so devoid of ideas. I mean, uh, not sure what the tactics were. I mean, it's like Ragnick was more reactive than uh, than someone who had a game plan. It's just that he brought, like, as soon as they went behind, he brought on all the attacking players, but there was no rhythm. Like Pogba came on, didn't really do anything. Uh, Took off one of centre back. I think Maguire, Matic came on. Varane came on. All these players came on, but then again, it just never looked like that they were going to put the ball in the back of the net. And then on top of that, at the final whistle, I think another classless moment from United fans throwing beer mugs at Simeone. I mean, come on, man, show some respect. Your club has lost to a team that has been better than you, and now you're throwing beer glasses at the opposing team's manager. So, I mean, they deserve to go out. And even Ronaldo, I don't really think. I mean, this is like what, 5 seasons in a row now. United are going to finish the season without a title. I hope this stays the case forever. But yeah, Uh, I don't really think that at this rate United are going to keep, or maybe Ronaldo would want to stay at United at the same time. I mean, just look at the other managers that have been linked with United. Both the other managers also got knocked out by their teams. Even Pochettino and PSG were knocked out. Even uh, Ten Hag and Ajax were knocked out. So not really sure where they go from here, to be honest.
Yeah, had it been our fans, it would have been all over the tabloids. Since it was many fans, so not a lot of noise there. Um, yeah, I mean, some of the substitutions made by Ranić was strange. I mean, they were wanted to score a goal, and he put on Juan Mata. I don't even remember when he played last for Manu. So, and Pogba, I mean, the most important match of the season, and Pogba on the bench. I think that's it for him. Yeah, at least.
Yeah, I think they've accepted that he's going to leave at the end of the season with his contract expiring. Probably going to go back to Juventus. I mean, I think more importantly than Pogba, I think it's Fernandes, Bruno Fernandes. I think another big game and another subpar performance from him. But then again, at least in this game, I can probably say that uh, don't really want to blame him too much because he clearly was not fully fit. He had COVID and missed the match against Tottenham. So maybe at least kudos to him, at least for playing in this match, even if he was not fully fit. It's obviously it's the blame in a way lies with Ragnick, for putting someone who was not fully fit on the pitch. So not really want to say too much about Bruno Fernandes, at least for this match.
Yeah, at least his behavior could have been better, even if he had COVID. I mean, the way he was after the referee's life for fouls and I know stuff like that. So yeah, the discipline of the players and of course the fans would have been much better. We move on to Wednesday, and I think I said Benfica knocking out Ajax was the biggest upset. I would like to change that. It's actually Villarreal knocking out Juventus. So again, Juventus dominated, but at the time in the fag end of the second half, Villarreal just got one penalty, and then from there on, Juventus started chasing the match and conceded two more goals. One of them again a penalty. So Moreno, Pau Torres, and Tanjuma scoring three goals. Villarreal not out the old lady out in the round of 16. Rahul, your views?
Oh yeah. I don't know why, but I still kind of feel like this is still more realistic, than uh, Benfica knocking out Ajax, because we have seen that teams managed by Unai Emery, they are better teams when it comes to cup competitions. I mean, Unai Emery has such a good record of winning the Europa League with Sevilla. So yes, and we already talked about this before as well that Juventus were on their bare bones. I mean, with missing so many players and the same players playing again and again, they were just crying out for some rest. I think last weekend as well, he could only rest Blahovic, but I think the rest were still playing. And I think when you see someone like Rugani play, I think he has always been in a way a calamity. I mean, he's like their version of Harry Maguire. When you play someone like Rugani, I mean, I just remember because in 2018 when Sari was at Chelsea, he wanted to sign Rugani. So I'm just so glad that we did not sign Rugani. But yes, I think when someone like Rugani is playing for Juventus, you can always get a goal. So yes, they were missing some big players, someone like Chiellini or Bonucci. So obviously it was Dillet and Rugani who were playing, and yeah, I think in the end they just were too tired. I think, and that's something that happened. Whereas Villarreal clearly came up, with a game plan, and yeah, they got an opportunity. Uh, they got a penalty, and yeah, once that happened, then the onus was on Juventus, to find an equalizer, which left space for Villarreal to exploit. And yeah, on the counter, they scored two more goals. So yeah, good kudos to Villarreal.
Yeah, moving on, we faced off against Lille in France, and even at the end of the match, Tuchel said that it is all about the fans because uh, I don't know since Abramovich has said that he is willing to relinquish the control of the club. Everybody has seems to have just woken up and tried to put as many sanctions as possible. This might be the last time, at least for this season, that Chelsea supporters will be able to, witness our match in the stadium. So dedicated this victory to the fans. Lille did show some life, but again, it was always sort of too difficult for them. Burak Yilmaz started the scoring through a penalty, but Pulisic equalized soon after 9 minutes of the first half, and in the second half, Aspilicueta scored the second goal. We won 2-1. But again, it was all about the fans. Maybe the last time they see us, our next round match at home might be behind closed doors. No official confirmation yet. So this is how it is. It was all about the result, and happy that we go through. Now,
Yeah, like you said, happy that we got through. I think Chelsea are the only team that uh, won home and away in the knockout fixtures. Nobody else could do it. So yeah. Again, we were still missing a few players. I think even Christensen got injured, and then Chalova came on and then got a yellow just within a minute of coming on. Yeah, Saul Niguez, I think he's also got COVID now. So a lot of players didn't really go. But again, just the mentality that the players are showing, that Tuchel is showing, it's like he doesn't really want anything to hamper the results, the on-field performances. Maybe like we talked about this earlier, we thrive in chaos, and that's what's happening. We are using the siege mentality of us against the world, and that is helping us deliver the results on the pitch. Even after the match, I think Tuchel was asked who would you like to play or not play or avoid, and the mantra or the everything that Tuchel has been saying, it's all boiled down to this, something that he said pretty much very early in his tenure as Chelsea manager, that we want us to be the team that nobody wants to play against. And yes, that's what he said. Even here, he just reiterated that fact. And yeah, we've got a great draw in the Champions League that we will talk about in the Champions League preview. But yes, a great match. I think, to be honest, yeah, like I would have been happy with the draw as well, because overall, I mean, this was in a way, at least on paper, one of the easiest or one-sided draws. Nobody really expected anything other than Chelsea to go through. So yeah.
yes, we move on to the Europa League now. On Thursday, we had Bayern Leverkusen against Atlanta. Atlanta was leading the strike 3-2, and they scored in the extra time of second half. Jeremy Bona getting the goal. So they won the match 1-0, and the fixture by 4-2. Around anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so two 1-0 losses for Leverkusen in a row. They lost at the weekend to Cologne, and now at at home to Atlanta. So yes, they started on the front foot, and as the match went on, they took control of the match. They wanted to find that one goal that would, tie the game up and take it to extra time. But then, and I guess, in order to do that, they again left spaces at the back, and then another Chelsea former academy player, Jeremy Boga. He's so quick, and I think a great substitution by Gasperini. He knew that by the time he would bring him on, the Leverkusen defenders would be tired, and that's what happened. He's got such quick feet that because of his pace and his movement, he was able to find an opening and score a goal, and that eventually handed the tie, out of Leverkusen's reach and within Atlanta's grasp. And yeah, I mean, a draw would have been okay, but yeah, they won home and away. So yeah, a 4-2 victory on aggregate for Atlanta, and they move on.
Yeah, Red Star Belgrade won their home match 2-1 against Rangers, but having lost 3-0 away, they are not out. Rangers are through. Rahul?
Yeah, I think, I mean, Rangers already had a 3-0 advantage, so it was really difficult for them to not, go through. Uh, in fact, I think I just want to say that yes, maybe it would have been a closer match. Uh, Instead of a 2-1 victory, maybe it could have been 2-0, because the goal that Ryan Kent scored, the former Liverpool player for Rangers, that was actually scored in a fashion wherein the defender who was chasing, he actually got injured while chasing him. So he couldn't really chase him anymore. So yeah, I mean, the defender got a hamstring injury. So yeah, if that had not been the case, maybe it would have been 2-0. But overall, this still would have gone through.
Yeah, the next match, Galatasaray against Barcelona. Galatasaray actually took the lead uh, in the 28th minute. Barcelona responded in the 37th minute, and finally Aubameyang scoring early in the second half. and from there Barcelona sort of cruised their way, and they are through now. I think they're the favorites now for this cup. Um, a lot of laurels for Pedri. Again, he came on as a substitute in the second half and sort of just controlled the game. So yeah, looking out for this one. Rahul?
Yeah, Pedri actually started the match. But yeah, either way, I think. I mean, he's just 18. He's just 18, and that's the thing. That's what I've been talking about. Like when it comes to Barcelona, they've got all these issues, but still, uh, in spite of all those financial trouble, they've still been able to build a very solid team. And on top of that, not just a solid team, but even a strong structure. Because it's not like they've got just Pedri, who's this youngster, who's a long-term player. There's Pedri, there's Gavi, there's Nico, there's Ansu Fati. There are so many players that they didn't really have to spend so much on, and still they're gonna be there for years to come. So I mean, he's already there, for Spain. Yeah. So people were comparing him uh, to Messi, which is again far-fetched in my opinion. But yes, uh, I mean, even someone like Aubameyang cannot stop scoring ever since he's left Arsenal and he's playing for Barcelona. Javi has been in praise of that he's like this model professional. I know that right now things are going good, so he's like this. I'm pretty sure that when things are not going well, then he will come back to his usual behavior. But then again, right now it's working. So yeah, like nobody really expected Barcelona to not go through, even though they drew 0-0 at the Camp Nou. But still, I mean, yeah, great goal from Pedri, not just like a great performance, but yeah, even Aubameyang scored. Even Frankie De Jong had a great chance, and even now there are so many rumors, of Barcelona signing someone like Frank Kessié, like that deal is almost done. Going for someone like Nasraoui, someone like Aspilicueta, someone like Christensen. So I'm just wondering, like, how much better can they get? Yeah.
You said Camp now, right? I think it's Spotify Camp now.
Oh yes. Again, see that's the thing. That's the thing. They're finding new ways to make money, right? They know that they have these financial troubles, but then, irrespective of all that, Barcelona will always be one of the biggest clubs in world football. At least one of the biggest names in world football. So they will
Yeah,
never run out of ideas to find, never run out of ideas to make money. So yeah, irrespective of
yeah,
whether people like it or not.
yeah. We are definitely those people who do not like it. I read somewhere that Barcelona have a net transfer budget of minus 144 million for the summer transfer. Let's see how they turn that around. I'm sure they will do it.
Yeah.
It was in respect of the Haaland move. So, yeah, they basically have to back out now. Okay, the next match is Monaco against Braga. So Braga had a 2-0 lead, and now away at Monaco, they actually took the lead. Monaco replied in the 90th minute. The match ended 1-1, and Braga are through. The next match was Frankfurt versus Betis, again a 1-1 draw. Frankfurt actually scored in the 121st minute, extra time of the extra time basically, and on aggregate, Frankfurt go through 3-2. Now your view on both these matches?
Yeah. So it was 2-1, on aggregate to Frankfurt because of their victory away from home. So yeah, in this match, Betis had to make the breakthrough, and they did. The game went to extra time. Borja Iglesias now, I think, 2 games, 2 goals in a row. So he scored at the weekend against. I'm not sure against who, but yeah, now he scored against Frankfurt as well. So maybe he's also
Bilbao.
Bilbao. Yes, he scored against Bilbao and now against Frankfurt. That took the game to extra time, but then yeah, maybe it was bad luck or maybe just not used to the idea of playing for 120 minutes. That yes, they lost their focus for a second, and lo and behold, it was a goal. That it was an equalizer, and yeah, all of a sudden they're out. Instead of the game going to penalties, they're out of the competition. Yeah.
Anything you'd like to add about the Monaco Braga match?
Again, I think when you're losing 2-0 and then all of a sudden you go behind one more time, it's just so difficult. And yeah, I mean, they did find an equalizer, but then it was too little too late and still went out on aggregate by 3-1.
Yeah, another 1-1 draw between Lyon and Porto. Lyon had won the away leg 1-0, so they go through. Porto are out. Rahul?
Yeah, again, like the game again between Betis and Frankfurt, I think. Um, I mean, it's a two-legged game, right? So you got to pay attention in both the matches. Uh, Porto, we've talked about them that they've got this, European experience, but still, when it came to the first leg at home with the Dragao, they lost to Leon. So maybe in a way, for Leon, it's like that they've got uh, nothing to play for when it comes to domestic matches. Like we all know that PSG are going to win League One, so at least for all these clubs, they have to focus on all the other competitions, and I think that's what Leon are doing. Uh, so kudos to Leon. They got. I think in a way this was a surprise. So yeah, they got away with it, and yeah, they're on to the next round. They're actually supposed to play West Ham, if I'm not wrong. So another interesting match, but yeah, we'll talk about that in the preview. Kudos to Leon.
Talking about West Ham, they won the match against Sevilla, against something that we had predicted. Thomas Suchek scoring in the first half, match went to the extra time, and Yarmolenko scoring 2 goals in 2 games now, again, an emotional affair for him. Um, West Ham knocked out Sevilla. Rahul?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to be honest. Like, yeah, I mean, we both of us predicted the game to go to extra time, but after that, our predictions changed. So yes, you got this right. Yes, kudos to I think West Ham. I mean, again, someone like Declan Rice and Thomas Tuchel, what a partnership like those two have built, in the middle of the park for West Ham, and they've actually become this difficult to play against. They are just such a strong unit, and I always have more respect for teams that are more defensively solid, than someone who concede a lot but score a lot as well. Because in my opinion, uh, good attack can win you matches, but when you talk about winning titles, it's always a good defense. Good defense is what does it for you, uh, and that's what I think West Ham and David Moyes have done. Uh, Especially, I mean, when you take a look at the players individually, you don't really, no one really stands out in my opinion, at least. I mean, Craig Dawson or Zuma or Cresswell or even Ben Johnson, the back four doesn't really stand out in my opinion. But when you have someone like Declan Rice or Thomas Tuchel in front of them, protecting that back four and the unit that they have built, they are just so strong. So yeah, kudos to West Ham and the job that David Moyes has done at West Ham. Yeah.
Yeah, with the European ties wrapped up, let's look at some of the league fixtures that happened. We'll take it day by day. So on Monday, Crystal Palace did a huge favor to Liverpool. At home, they drew against Manchester City. Again, the pattern of the play was pretty much along expected lines. City dominated, but um, something that we have seen from quite a number of teams this week actually. They could not get the job done. They could not score that important goal. And Palace now have 4 points out of City this season. They won at Etihad, and yeah, the title race absolutely in Liverpool's hand now. Um, we'll talk about Liverpool Arsenal later, but yeah, this is kind of the slip up that the neutrals who wanted to see a title race, and of course the Liverpool fans wanted, and Palace have helped them out here. Rahul?
Yeah, Crystal Palace are unbeaten against Manchester City this season. I mean, I just want to talk about Conor Gallagher. Wow, I just cannot wait for that man, to play for Chelsea. He ran his heart out, I think. He even said after the match that he could not feel his legs anymore. That's how much he ran. Wow. I mean, we have seen this from Crystal Palace, at least from Patrick Vieira, that at least in big games, they do turn up. They would probably lose, against a smaller team, but then they are like the Sassuolo of Premier League. But yeah, kudos to Crystal Palace. At least now we've got a title race on our hands. Uh, yeah, just in a way happy.
Yeah, in La Liga, Real Mallorca faced off against Real Madrid. Again, this was Madrid's match. That I mean, they did not play in the weekend. They played on Monday due to their Champions League fixture. So they won this match quite comfortably, 3-0, 3 goals in the second half. Vinicius Junior and Benzema scored 2 goals. So yeah, now they have a 10-point lead, I guess,
Yeah.
and everything's rosy for Real Madrid now as far as La Liga is concerned. Now,
Yeah, I mean, They tried to drop points, but then they still didn't. Whereas the other team had so many options to gain points, but they still couldn't or didn't. The only downside to this match would be Benzema's injury. I think he got injured, so yeah, he's got an hamstring injury and in doubt to face Barcelona in the El Clasico. That's the only negative I would say for Real Madrid fans. Otherwise, a standard victory with Benzema and Vinicius both on the score sheet. Yeah.
Yeah, we in Italian Serie A we had Lazio squaring off against Venezia. Ciro Immobile scoring in the 58th minute, another penalty. So something that we did expect Lazio to take care of Venezia. So Rahul.
Yeah, not much to say. I think yeah, they got a victory at home playing against Venezia. Nothing more to add. I think it was an expected result. Uh, Maybe the scoreline could have been more, but it's okay.
Yeah, so in the Premier League on Wednesday, we had Brighton against Tottenham. Brighton had lost their previous 5 matches. We can make that six now. And Tottenham have this trend of winning one and losing one. So they have also kept their end of the bargain. They won this match 2-0. Uh, Harry Kane and Romero scoring one goal each. Again, we can't really say that Tottenham are bad because we all know they might just, be bust in the next match. And as far as Brighton are concerned, something has to give. They have to do something to arrest this downfall, not because of their safety or anything. I mean, Premier League safety, but this just cannot go on. 6 matches on the bounce is far too much. Even if you are a small team in the Premier League, 6 matches is far too much. Rahul?
Yeah, I mean, again, the job that Conte is doing at Tottenham. I mean, it's just childish, to imagine Conte leaving. I mean, that is still possible, but Tottenham letting go someone like Conte is just not something that I can imagine. I mean, I don't really think that they can find anyone better. So yes, let him just do what he's doing. Just back him, and they'll do well. He'll even get them in the Champions League with the way the other clubs are not performing like United or even Arsenal at times. But yeah, kudos to Tottenham. I mean, he's just got again. We're again seeing the Harry Kane that everyone used to fear. He's gotten rid of the deadwood, and signed some players that he actually wanted. Someone like Kulusevski, or I think Bentancur. So yeah, if he continues to get the players that he wants and builds a squad, I think Tottenham will be in the top four at least. Not going to say that they're going to win or anything, but yeah, at least he'll make them a club that can finish in the top four from next season onwards.
Yeah, so the next match was Arsenal against Liverpool. Wherein we talked about how City dropped points at Palace. So this was the best chance for Liverpool to go ahead and take advantage of that. Again, given Arsenal's current form, it was not the easiest of fixtures, but even with all the form and everything that Arsenal have, Liverpool just proved to be too strong for Arsenal, and they scored 2 goals in the second half from Mino and Jota. And from there on, again, it was a pretty easy victory from there. Again, Arsenal did show fight and resilience in the first half, but again, it just shows that even after doing so much, there is still a long way to go for Arsenal now to reach at the level that they desire. Right?
And they're never going to reach that level, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, they had a good chance. Odegaard had a chance, but then again, he was actually surprised that how is it possible that I've got such a good chance against Liverpool, and yeah, he flubbed his chance. Alisson made the great save. I mean, the only problem is, other than the fact that it's Arsenal, but yeah, I mean, even after the match, Arteta was like, this happens to us. We've got so many fixtures to play. I mean, come on, man. Tottenham had so many fixtures, fixture congestion. Chelsea, they had so many fixtures to play. They don't just play in the Premier League. Chelsea actually play in the Champions League, in the Club World Cup, and they still had to play all those matches, even when we had more players down with COVID. I mean, I don't want to go on a rant, but yeah, I mean, that's the mentality that Arsenal have, that they're playing in one competition, that's the Premier League, and still they're complaining about fixtures piling up.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope Arsenal do not qualify for the Champions League, because if this is the attitude of their coach, how are they going to manage next season?
Well, they're gonna get knocked
But
out of
yeah,
the. They're gonna get knocked out of the group stage. That's all.
Yeah, but even then he can cry, na, in October, November, December itself. He won't wait till Feb or March. So yeah, this is just something kind of pressurizing tactics, which I fail to understand because nobody ever listens, even when you have a valid point. This time Arsenal just doesn't have it, and he's been the butt of a lot of jokes by saying what he has said. So
I mean,
I
even
think
Conte was like, he's the one who got the matches postponed. Now he's the one who's complaining.
yeah, and that was one COVID case. On one COVID case, the match was postponed in between the semi-finals when they had Tottenham. So yeah, I think
And
it
then, I
looks
mean,
like
obviously,
that.
we've talked about this before. Like, yeah, at one weekend you don't have enough players, and all of a sudden, 3 days later in the semi-final against Liverpool, you've got a squad to play the entire match.
Yeah, I think we can move on. On Wednesday, we had a match, Bundesliga match, Mainz against Dortmund. Dortmund left it late, but they did get the job done. Witzel scoring in the 87th minute. An away win for Dortmund, something that they have not had a lot of this season. And now, after 26 matches, they're just 4 points behind Munich, and they have to go to the Allianz Arena to face them. So, I think maybe a slim chance that maybe we'll see some sort of title fight, at least for now. Let's see. Let's see what happens this week. Rahul?
Yeah, but at the same time, mm, I think maybe with Mainz we can probably say that because of the COVID cases and the matches postponed, they were still feeling the effects, still not really match fit. But yeah, uh, Dortmund, I think, irrespective of their form, in all the other competitions, even though they got knocked out in from the Europa League. But I think in the Bundesliga, they've won, I think, 5 out of 6 matches. So yeah, even Haaland was on the bench. So yeah, they are starting to gel, especially now because they've only got one game or one competition to focus on. Having said that, I still don't think that it's still Bayern who are going to win the title. I maybe if they somehow manage to beat Bayern at the Allianz, maybe then I'll say that yes, there's a slight chance. Like we've seen all of a sudden in the Premier League, there's a title race on. But it's just too hard to say that about the Bundesliga.
Yeah. On Thursday, we had a very important match with respect to the relegation battle in the Premier League. Everton faced against Newcastle. Um, Again, it was a lot of the same. Everton did not actually get going till large parts in the first half. It was actually Newcastle that dominated, and it was a very stop-start sort of an affair. And Allen was actually shown a red card for a reckless challenge, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding it because initially it was given as a yellow, and then the ref was asked to check the video monitor, and then he changed it to red. Lampard was not happy with it. They have also challenged that red card, which has now been upheld, and I think he'll miss 3 games now. But the most important thing was in the 99th minute, Everton got the most important goal maybe of this season. Alex Iwobi scoring that goal, and yeah, I mean we'll discuss goals and leads now. So maybe the relegation issue is beginning to settle down. Absolutely crucial 3 points for Everton. They still have a couple of matches in hand compared to the rivals. So again, after the match, Lampard came on one of those broadcast interviews, and the relief was there for everyone to see. He said that while celebrating, he also hurt or maybe fractured his left hand. So yeah, you can see that emotion, and yeah, good for them, good for Everton. Rahul?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like everyone knows here that for me, like Lampard is one of the greatest players of all time. So yes, I don't really care about Everton, but yes, for Lampard's sake, I just don't want them to go down. Having said that, I think they're still, irrespective of how much money Newcastle spend, uh, and maybe they become as good as all the other big teams on the pitch, but it will take some time, for them to strike the same fear that another big club like City or a Chelsea or Liverpool strikes in the other teams. So yes, for instance, if Everton are playing against a team like Liverpool or City or Chelsea, then they would always have something in the back of their mind that they're playing against, these big teams. Whereas that still hasn't really come, for teams playing against Newcastle. So that's another reason why that on paper I think Newcastle are a better side than Everton, but still I think they actually got better after the sending off. It actually united the players even more, and they just kept going. I think the even Michael Keane, who has been so dreadful but had a good game, they just gave it all. The crowd was there to support them, and in the end, yeah, their persistence, their hard work paid off. A 99th minute winner. So yeah, but again, it's just a one-off result because even with the Leeds' victory, yeah, so it is like so difficult in a way. Uh, One of the hardest relegation battles to predict. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about relegation, yesterday, last night, Wolves played against Leeds United, and Wolves actually had a two-goal advantage in the first half. The peculiar thing here was a lot of players were getting injured. So Ruben Neves was injured, so Trincao came on. He actually scored. There were a couple of Leeds players who got injured, so
Patrick Bamford
that
as
was
well.
an issue. Yeah, one of them being Bamford. So yeah, from there on in, Leeds looked done and dusted, but it just so happened that they scored three second half goals, and if any team can do it, it's Leeds. Rodrigo Harrison and Luke Kelly, 91st minute. And again, the biggest losers here, I think, are Burnley and Watford because in a matter of a couple of days, they have seen, people in and clubs in and around them take more of, an advantage. And now it's all up to them. They have to respond. So giant steps taken by Everton and Leeds in, pursuit of their safety this season. Rahul?
I mean, yeah, it did look like, that this was another of those nights wherein everything was just going away from Leeds. But then they had players injured. They even had a concussion substitution. Wow. I mean, not wow in a good way, but yeah, surprise. Like, it clearly, like, nobody would have thought that after the injuries, after the concussion, after going down 2-0, Leeds had any chance of getting anything out of this game. But still, uh, it's what we love about the game of football. All of a sudden, Raul Jimenez was sent off. That just opened the game. Leeds scored two goals in a couple of in a space of 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden, the 91st minute scored by Luke Ayling. And yeah, I mean uh, two games in a row wherein they've scored injury time winners. The last time I won it is against Norwich, and now against Wolves. So yeah, kudos to Leeds. I think yeah, like you said, bad news for Burnley and Watford.
Yeah. In the Bundesliga, something very strange happened last night. Bochum were facing up against Mönchengladbach, and the assistant, the linesman, basically, he was hit by a beer bottle, and the match had to be suspended with 19 minutes left. Mönchengladbach were leading the match 2-0, but I think they'll have to forfeit this match and maybe face hefty fines as well. The president of Bochum issued an apology and stuff like that, but. Again, it's the same teams, the same. I don't want to brand everyone with the same, paintbrush, but these are the same people who are taking a high moral ground on the war and everything, and they can't even have proper security. They can control their fans. Just hypocrisy, hypocrisy. Rahul?
Yeah, they were 2-0 up, I think, in the 77th minute when the incident happened. They even released a statement calling the fan idiotic and incident idiotic. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, yeah, I don't want to read too much into this. But yes, I don't really think that Bochum should now get to play this match again. I think, yeah, they should be. Uh, I mean, they were already losing, and I think it should stay that way.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. And maybe they'll face for the sanctions. I don't like that word sanctions anymore. In Serie A, we had Sassuolo against Spezia. Sassuolo won 4-1. A couple of goals for Berardi, one for Scamacca. And in the other match, Genoa finally got a 1-0 win over Torino. Rahul, your views on both the matches?
I mean, yeah, like we've talked about this before. Sassuolo's Italian contingent, all of these players, that scored, that played well, and have been selected by Mancini for the Italy squad as well in the coming round of fixtures. So yeah, uh, a great match for Sassuolo. and they are just in this form, especially someone like Skamaka, Raspadori, Berardi. So as long as these 3 or 4 players are firing, I think Sassuolo have got a great chance against any team.
Yeah, and on Genoa winning at Torino after having, I guess, 5 draws on the bounce.
Oh yes, finally they got a win.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm just a little surprised. Yeah, wow. Not sure if Torino would be really happy with that. That they're the team that finally get beaten by Genoa. Uh, but again, does it really help Genoa? I'm not really sure. I think uh, if Genoa can actually build from this, and get some more victories under their belt. Otherwise, if they continue to draw or even lose matches, they're still in the relegation zone, so it's not really going to help them.
yeah. I mean that we all have to wait for, and for that to see. But at least they started winning from drawing all those matches.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we come to the end of this podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for your time, and yeah, we'll be back with another episode quite soon. Take care. Bye bye.
All right, guys.